Welcome, everybody, back to virtual land. So excited. Anyway, doing it a little bit different today. Got AJ in person here with me today now that we're back home. And since AJ is my guest, I will be hosting the show today. Or at least that's what the script says. What actually happened is Mike lost another bet behind the scenes and you guys just didn't see it. So now it's my show. Anyway, not the point. We're going to get going on with the show. Got a good episode on today. Going to be talking about Buccos. Going to be talking about the XFL. Going to be talking about hockey playoffs, and we are going to be talking about, I believe, along with the NBA as well. Sorry, that's the one thing I was forgetting. Got a lot of NBA news to cover. So, I believe first Mike has some words to say. Seems a little salty over there, so we're gonna let him go, let him cook here for a minute. Pirates baseball.
I did not tell Alex or AJ what I was going to say.
Nope. We are completely unaware.
I'm scared.
I'm
going to make it very clear. They are playing well today as we speak. They are winning, 8-0, and Rich Hill is pitching a masterclass.
Rich Hill season.
With that said, when we last were on the air, technically for us, was the live show.
Yeah, because we recorded the season review the day before.
And the Pirates were one of the hottest teams in baseball. Maybe the hottest team in baseball.
I think they had the best record in the NL at that point.
At that point, yeah. So here it comes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this first. Richie, if you're watching.
No. No.
Take my credit card. I don't care.
What
happened?
How this was supposed to go.
What happened?
Not how this was supposed to go.
During the live,
we had it all planned out.
During the entire live, this was the Pirates. This was the Pirates playing baseball. This was it right here. You see this? Oh my God! I hit the ball. You want to know what it was during this losing streak? What the Pirates were? Dude! What happened?
I'm in shambles. Pittsburgh Pirates. What happened?
The night of the live, the Pirates lost to the Rays 8-1. Okay, the Rays are a legit team. That's fine.
They're
fine.
like 30-9 right now, or something like that.
Yeah. Then on that Thursday, the Pirates lost 3-2. Again, close game. It's fine. Then the game I went to at PNC Park, May 5th, they lost to the Blue Jays 4-0. The offense did not exist. By the way, Alex, I love our new intro and our new logo, by the way. Just want to say that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome.
Just want to say that. And by the way, I told Alex, I said, whatever you do, do not worry, but just remember I'm the editor. Does it make sense now, Alex?
It really does make sense now.
Then, that Saturday, the Pirates lost 8-2. Johan Oviedo just fell off the face of the earth. And Luis Ortiz, too. I don't know what happened. First of all, for Johan Oviedo, 0-2 pitch. He's throwing a curveball like close to the middle of the plate. Of course, people hit home runs and doubles and everything off of you, and then you lose 8-2. No crap. Then that Sunday they lost to the Blue Jays. I know that. Which wait, I think it was what was the score? Sorry, I'm doing this off my phone. They lost 10-1, which is just unacceptable.
I forgot about that one.
Then that Monday, Mitch Keller. We're gonna get to Mitch at the end of the show. There's a contract extension talk, which when I saw that on Twitter, I was like, here we go again. But here's the thing. Is he worth Brian Reynolds type money? We'll discuss that. By the way, I like how I just did not hit the timer to show the time of our show. I was probably what? 4 minutes in, maybe? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets bad. The Pirates lost 10-1 to the Rockies.
Colorado Rockies.
Enough said. Really. Then they lost 4-3 to the Rockies. A winnable game, but Rich Hill at 42 cannot field a ground ball, which cost them the game. Rich Hill's pitching great right now, by the way. Just want to remind you on that. Then we go to Friday. Against Baltimore. Lost 6-3. Annoying game. Annoying game. The Pirates, their batting average. I checked their batting average during this losing streak. It was like 176 against right-handers. Then they got shut out 2-0. The offense was not existing that night either. It was horrible. Then we go to Sunday. Mitch Keller, once again, the best pitcher the Pirates have. They beat the Orioles 4-0. And then, today is Wednesday. Pirates lost 4-0 last night. Again, offense did not exist at all. You know, I can accept a losing streak while everybody else is losing, and they're still above 500.
They are. They're 22-20 right now. They're about to be 23-20.
Second in their division.
Which I have a division board. It's too far away. You can't see it, but I have a division board with everything from before today's game
Rich
started.
Hill, 6 innings, 7 Ks. Pretty solid. Pretty solid game.
That's pretty solid. But as of right now, with like batting stats, I got him. I'll read them off to you. If this wants to load. Brian Hayes, he heated up a little bit during this losing streak, but at the same time, he kind of didn't. He's now batting .228. Brian Reynolds has 3 hits. He was kind of slow. He was kind of slowing down a little bit today, or not today, during the losing streak.
Yeah, Brian Hayes is 0 for 5.
That's what happens when he bats leadoff. He is not a leadoff hitter. Why did you just not? Okay, against left-handed pitching, Derek Sheldon's excuse was because Brian Hayes knows how to hit off of left-handers. Guess what? So does Andrew McCutchen, who was batting first the last 2 games. So why didn't you just bat McCutchen first again? Or if you didn't want to do that, bat Brian Reynolds first, who gets on base.
Yeah, Reynolds is having a good game. He's through 3 for 5 with 2 runs. That's pretty.
Castro is 2 for 3, and I know he has a home run. G1 Bay, who's fast, by the way, on the base.
He's super fast.
My goodness gracious. Austin Hedges is actually with 3 RBIs, 2 for 4. Wow. Just wow. And then Carlos Santana, he's sucking right now. But now here's the
go back to playing guitar.
So this is what I want to say right now before I just, like I said, I can accept a losing streak, like for now. But what I won't accept is when your offense is not doing well right now, it's not popping off, and you have guys in the minors like Henry Davis, Endy Rodriguez, who are starting to heat up right now, who can hit. Same thing with Nick Gonzalez, who's a middle infielder, who's a right-handed batter. All of these guys can hit right-handed. And you won't call them up because they need more catching minus Gonzalez. If that's the case, don't put Henry Davis in right field because that's what they did in Altoona. That's what's like. Okay. Even we'll say, how about this? I think you got to send down to Capito Marcano. who's not doing so well right now.
I agree. Yeah.
So then call up Andy Rodriguez or Henry. You don't have to put a catcher, have him DH, and then put McCutchen back in the outfield. There you go.
It's true.
There you go. Then you have a third catcher. So, God, my head hurts.
Despicable.
My head hurts.
Mine's the fact that they're winning 8-0, obviously.
Yeah,
cold streak's over. They're back. I mean, to be fair,
we're back.
To be fair, it always seems to be Detroit teams that get the cold streak broken on them.
Man, my head hurts.
All right, let's get to a topic you might want to talk about while you're on baseball still before we push through. Do you think Mitch Keller deserves Brian Reynolds type money?
I think as a
Robin, Jesus.
Oh my.
Sorry. We're bird watching out here.
Yes and no. I think as of right now, he's definitely pitching like he's like Garrett Cole level right now. But
yeah, he's definitely pitching big money level right now.
And he definitely picked it up towards the end of the year last year. I'm gonna go no. I don't think
I'm gonna go not quite. Yeah.
Maybe 5 years, 80 million is safe.
Yeah,
but
I would say so.
I don't know. I don't think he's
because
like
27,
something like that. 27. The difference is that Brian Reynolds is the Pirates' best player, and keep your best player, you had to pay him that much money. Mitch Keller is not the best player. He's the best. He's their best pitcher. Minus.
Yeah, but he's not contending for going up near biggest contract in Pirates history level.
So maybe around Key Brian Hayes level money, I would say. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's worth that much money. And by the way, I think this is a good idea since I wrote down all the records and everything. And actually, I think I took a picture. Didn't I take a picture? Oh no, I didn't. Here, I'm gonna take a picture. Then I figured read the records in the leagues right now. Then we can maybe move on. Okay. Man, first show back on Zoom. It's definitely an interesting one.
Didn't miss it. Did not miss it.
Yeah. Okay, so for the AL East, which is in my opinion, the best division in all of baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays are 32-11 in first place.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts.
Followed by the Baltimore Orioles, who's 27-15, who is 4.5 games back on the Rays. The Blue Jays are 24-18, 7.5 games back. The New York Yankees are in fourth place. You love to see it. 25-19, 7.5 games back. And then in last place, the Boston Red Sox, who are actually on the Pirates level, 23-20, 9 games back.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Essentially, the AL is pretty loaded right now.
I'd say in that division, there's a lot of bad teams in the AL right now. So I wouldn't say they're loaded.
That division's pretty loaded, though.
But that division is definitely loaded. Did you see that stuff with Aaron Judge and the Blue Jays bench?
No, I didn't, actually.
They were like chirping at Judge for some reason. Judge was like this. Then he like looked over to the bench. Next pitch, he hit a home run. And then the Blue Jays, and then they kept chirping back and forth. No benches cleared, surprisingly, but they kept chirping back and forth. That was
interesting.
It's like whatever. I'm going to run through these real quick. The AL Central, not a good division. Minus the Minnesota Twins, who are 24-19, followed by the Detroit Tigers, who are 19-21, who are about to be 19-22. By the way, I want to say this with the losing streak, it's not let's go Buccos. It's let's go Bucko. God. And then the Cleveland Guardians, who on my board is still the Cleveland Indians. Whoopsie. 19-22, 4 games back. Then the Chicago White Sox, 15-28, 9 games back. They were projected to be one of the best teams in the AL, and they're like one of the worst this year so far. And they fired their coach last year, who's atrocious. Like, whatever. The Kansas City Royals are atrocious, 13-31, 11.5 games back. All right. The AL West. This is where it gets funny. The Texas Rangers are 26-16. Houston Astros 23-19, the reigning champs, 3 games back on the Rangers. Los Angeles Angels 22-21, 4.5 games back when they have Shohei Ohtani, who's going off right now, and they have Mike Trout. Whatever. Seattle Mariners 21-21, 5 games back, and the worst team in all of baseball, the Oakland Athletics.
They're so bad. They're so bad.
10-34, 17 games back already. We're in May.
They are so bad.
The season started last month. What?
We are nowhere close to Bucktober yet, baby.
Man. All right. And then the NL East, the Atlanta Braves are 26-16, leading that division, while the Marlins follow 21-21, 5 games back. This division's not good. The Phillies are 20-22, 6 games back. This surprises me. The New York Mets, 20-23, 6.5 games back. That is shocking.
Yeah.
And then the Washington Nationals, who are a bad team, in my opinion, are 18-24, though 8.5 games back. Though that's not, yes, that's below 500, but like for the last place team, that's not the worst. That's not like Athletics worse.
We're not 17 games behind, yeah.
Exactly. And then the NL West, of course, I'm leaving the Central for last. The Dodgers, first place, 27-16, while followed by the Diamondbacks, who are 3 games back, 24-19. San Diego Padres, 20-23, 7 games back. That's kind of shocking because they loaded their team. They got Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth. Yeah. They're a good team, but like the record's not showing. San Francisco Giants, I haven't really heard about them that much this year so far. 19-23, 2.5 games back, and then Colorado Rockies, 18-25, 9 games back. They're pretty bad. Now the NL Central. The Pirates are no longer in last place. Deservedly so. Milwaukee Brewers, 24-18. The Pirates, as of right now, are 22-20 until they beat the Tigers. Obviously, they'll be about, if the Brewers lose, they should be about a game and a half back. Chicago Cubs are 19-23, 5 games back. Now, here's the thing. If the Cubs lose today and the Reds win, the Reds will jump in 3rd place, as they are also 19.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, this is pretty shocking, too. One of the most shocking stories in baseball of records. The St. Louis Cardinals are 17-26, 7.5 games back. You love to see it. All right, that's enough of my baseball talk. Whew. Man, that was a lot.
Interesting, considering we're only in May.
Yep. It's definitely interesting. So you got anything else to add about baseball, Alex? Or AJ? AJ, who does not like baseball.
I'm not a baseball guy.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Next. Are we
I'm going to get a prime.
Okay. We're gonna start talking about, since me and AJ both like football, we're gonna start talking about the XFL.
Perfect.
For the fans, probably not many of you. We're gonna talk about the XFL. We're gonna start with standings from the regular season. The North, which I'll tell you right now, is much more loaded than the South. The standings, since there's only 8 teams in the XFL, there are 2 divisions, the North and the South. In the North, DC went 9-1, won the division, clinched championship berth. They were very good, especially with that defense led by Greg Kill the Head Williams. Second place, Seattle Sea Dragons went 7-3, led by yours truly, Ben DiNucci. St. Louis Battlehawks, who were rocking with AJ McCarron before I believe he got hurt, also went 7-3. They just missed the playoffs, and then the Vegas Vipers went 2-8 with, I believe, Luis Perez, who no one cared about. Couldn't tell you a single quarterback from the South Division, so we're just going to go through their records.
Whoa. Kurt Benkert.
Oh, that's right.
Falcons and Packers legend.
Yes.
Played for the Brahmas, but he got hurt 2 games in.
So the South won by Houston Roughnecks. They went 7-3. They were undefeated at the same time as DC for the first good bit. I want to say they were both 5-0, and then Houston kind of fell off.
They were 6-0 in their division. They didn't lose
right.
a single divisional game.
Then Arlington Renegades barely snuck into the playoffs at 4-6. San Antonio Brahmas went 3-7, and the Orlando, I think, Guardians guarded absolutely nothing, went 1-9. So that made for 2 semifinal matchup games. The first being between the Arlington that is the week 1 scores. Where's the playoffs? There's Arlington Renegades versus Houston Roughnecks. The Renegades won the game 26-11, showing that Houston ended up being massive chokers. And then DC clapped DiNucci and the Sea Dragons 37-21. And then championship, the microphone almost just fell off the table. The DC Defenders lost in the championship to a team with a losing record in the Arlington Renegades 35-26. Disgusting. Very disappointed in my DC team, but
upset, baby. Upsets for the win.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go through some player stats as a plane absolutely shakes the entire house right now. AJ, don't say it. But we're going to go through some season stats if the website decides to load because garbage. There we go. Your man himself, Ben DiNucci, played all 10 regular season games. He completed 64% of his passes for 2,671 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. AJ McCarron was a bit more efficient, completing 68% of his passes for a little bit less yards, 2,150, but he threw 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
He took 28 sacks this season.
Oh, my God.
He got mauled.
Followed up by Jordan Tiamu. I don't know how. He threw for like 90 yards each of the first 4 games of the season, but he ended up throwing for 62%, 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Pretty efficient. A long of 86, which is pretty crazy. He only took 6 sacks this year. That's pretty impressive. AJ McCarron, by far the most sacked, ahead of Quentin Dormady, who had 20, and Jack Cohn, the Wisconsin quarterback that got absolutely rocked in their game against Ohio State in 2019 in the Big Ten Championship. Let's see, we'll go rushing real quick. Abram Smith, the DC running back, far and away the leading rusher in the league. Holy cow. 158 carries, 791 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's 5 yards per carry. Followed by Patrick from the Brahmas. I don't know how you second in the league in rushing when your team went 1-9. Whatever. He had 115 carries for 443 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's an average of 3.9. Solid. Ben DiNucci averaged 5.8 yards per carry. There you go. He was the 6th leading rusher in the league. I know De'Aaron King is going to be on here somewhere. He's way down there, actually. The second quarterback for the DC Defenders, who TD Barrett famously used on the quarterback rap play in Madden 21 like all year.
I didn't know that.
No, it was crazy. That was when he took the Washington football team to 3 straight Super Bowls in their first 3 seasons, I want to say. He drafted Trevor Lawrence in that league. That's besides the point. Go to receiving. Number 1 was Pearson from Seattle. Again, I don't know these guys' names. 670 yards off 60 catches and 4 touchdowns. We'll go through some of the top guys here. Butler from the Battlehawks, 599 yards, 51 catches, 8 touchdowns. Cody Latimer, tight end for the Orlando Guardians, 50 catches, 593 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And probably the most notable name on this list, Josh, I love smoking weed. Gordon had 38 catches for 540 yards and 4 touchdowns, which was a pretty solid season. I thought he was honestly going to have a better season than that, but
yeah, a little disappointing for his standards.
Not bad. I mean, compared to his 1,600-yard season with Brandon Weeden at quarterback, yeah. Some defensive stuff. Let's see here. These guys, I don't know any of these guys. Let's see here. Jordan Williams led the league in tackles, the linebacker for the – what team was that? That's the Brahmas, 38 solo tackles, 51 assisted, 89 total tackles, 12 TFLs is a pretty solid season. Interceptions led by Ajeen Harris. The Houston Roughnecks had a pretty solid season for himself. He had 5 interceptions? Yeah. Michael Joseph of the DC Defenders was tied for second with 4 interceptions. He had like 3 in the first 2 weeks or something like that. It was pretty crazy.
He also returned 2 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 2 pick sixes. That's right. That was the most in the league. Only 2 other players, it seems like, had defensive touchdowns in the entire league. So pretty interesting first full season for the XFL since the 2020 season got cut short due to COVID.
Technically, it is the second full season. When they
you're right.
Originated in 2001 when Vince McMahon tried to script football.
Yeah.
Now The Rock owns it, which is very interesting to think about.
Though if the pandemic didn't happen and Vince McMahon still owned it, Mike Miller probably would still be with the New York team.
Oh, the New York Guardians, I want to say, yeah.
Yeah. And, but it's okay because, 2022 Grey Cup champs.
Shout out to the Toronto Argonauts.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic season. Do you want to go basketball next, or do you want to go hacky?
We can do basketball, but is there anything else you guys got for the XFL? Like opinion? How about this? How about this? Like overall, what were your overall thoughts? And by the way, I like how Alex is hosting the show and I'm asking the question. But what were you guys' overall thoughts on the season, really?
I didn't watch a lot of games. I watched DC's first game. Almost just dropped my phone. I watched DC's first game, and it seemed interesting. Shout out to the beer snake that DC has that the security guards really tried to get them to get rid of, but they refused. It was really cool. I think the environment was pretty awesome. It's obviously a great way for players who can't quite make it to the NFL to redefine themselves and maybe end up getting on an NFL roster. So I thought it was a pretty good season, pretty successful. Would have loved to see DC win that championship, but other than that.
Yeah, I mean, for an opening season, it wasn't bad. I think for a first season, that's all you can expect. I mean, the games were entertaining. They were really sloppy. There were a lot of turnovers and just missed tackles. Things you wouldn't see in the NFL. More things you'd see more like college. So it almost to me feels like college 2.0.
It's fair.
Because, I mean, if you don't make it in the NFL, that's where you go. I mean, it's simple as that. It leads to sloppy football, but at the same time, it's also entertaining. The games are pretty high scoring for the most part.
The fans seem to like it a lot, too.
Yeah.
They get really good response. The stands are pretty packed in most of these games.
Yeah. I think there's only good things to come from having 2 football leagues.
Absolutely, I agree.
Sorry, I was watching a clip on the Pat McAfee show, but by the way, he's moving to ESPN.
Yeah, that's right. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Jeff Passan was on the show today. I was trying to see if Pat McAfee was complaining about Bob Nutting not paying his players, though he just did. But I watched that later. But yeah, so you guys want to move on to basketball or hacky? It doesn't matter to me.
We can go basketball next. I'm cool with that.
All right. Okay. So I'm just gonna do the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals for right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you really care, if you're watching this and you really care about the entire NBA playoffs, and just look it up. We talked about it a little bit when the Hawks were in. Of course, they were out right away. But yeah, so for the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets and the LA Lakers. Lakers, what happened? They lost 132 to 126 in game 1. The Lakers, I didn't watch the game, but from what I heard, the Lakers did not play well at all. That's all I know but they just did not play well at all. So the Eastern Conference Finals is actually tonight between the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics. That's going to be a good series. This is 2 good series. By the way, this is a rematch of the bubble playoffs. Actually, this was the semifinal games in 2020 when there was the bubble. Looking at this, I want to say I'm gonna go with the Miami Heat. Probably okay. What I want is the Celtics versus the Lakers. Because
Yeah.
I wanted to see the series because that used to be a hot series back in the day.
That's true.
What I think is going to happen, honestly, man, maybe the Nuggets and the Heat. The Nuggets looked good against from what I've heard. And by the way, it's official. The Pirates have won 8-0 with five with multiple hits. Had just 2 hits. Hill, terrific, 6 innings, 7 Ks. Castro homered. They're now 23-20. Now I know what I said in the beginning, but that performance. Let's just do it. Buccos!
Buccos!
All right, enough of that. Yeah, but overall, I think champions this year, even though they're the 8th seed, I think it's going to be the Miami Heat, man. Jimmy Butler is looking really good right now, and he's looking out. He's going to be coming out for blood. He's going to be coming out for the 2020 NBA Finals when he played just tremendous, but the Lakers were victorious. But yeah. By the way, you want to talk about Ja Morant, man?
Oh yeah, Ja Morant. That's something we do need to talk about real quick.
He just does not care about. He just does not care about his career, man. He doesn't.
Flashing a gun on Instagram, right?
Again, the second time.
He has been, I believe, indefinitely suspended from all team activities as it currently stands. So, Ja Morant, I don't know, dog. I don't know what to tell you.
It's just a character thing at this point.
It's a character.
Nobody can fix it but him. They can penalize him all they want, but it just comes down to him getting his act together.
It really, I mean, it's true.
Yeah. There really isn't that much to add on to that. Really, you just got to get your act together.
Yeah, got some coaching changes.
That's right. Ones. Yep, that's right. You want to go ahead and get that?
Surprising ones here. Milwaukee Bucks fire Mike Budenholzer after 5 seasons on the job. Believe won them a championship 2 years ago. Got them to the conference semifinals last year or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Sixers fire Doc Rivers after 3rd straight playoff loss. These are surprising. These are all surprising, by the way.
Doc Rivers one doesn't surprise me.
The Phoenix Suns fire Monty Williams, though, after, I believe, 3 straight first-round exits from the playoffs or something like that.
At some point, you gotta have a conversation about that.
Yeah. And then this one isn't as surprising because I don't think they've done that well this year, or at least it's the most recent one and not one I've heard about yet. But the Toronto Raptors have fired Nick Nurse, so he is out as well. So some big teams with some major coaching changes here.
Yeah, and speaking of the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs have the first pick in the draft as they won the lottery. And we'll get to the lottery. We'll get to the lottery with the NHL here pretty soon. With who won the sweepstakes for Connor Bedard. But yeah, with the playoffs, that's really all I have. But there's also something with the Warriors today I wanted to mention, and unfortunately, my dad had Colin Cowherd on, and he was talking about Draymond Green. He says he likes Draymond. Really, with Draymond's attitude and how old he's getting, I don't know how you bring him back, man, after the incident he did with Jordan. I think his name is Jordan Poole or whatever. I think his name.
Yeah.
I don't know how you bring him back. I don't know if you can. I would move on. I would honestly move on from Draymond. That's just my opinion, but
that's fair.
But is there? By the way, is there any NFL things that happened in the last 2 weeks?
I mean,
that I can think of.
Zadarius Smith got traded from the Vikings to the Browns.
The Browns, yep.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that's good. It's good for the Browns. It gives them somebody across Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, for sure.
But that's kind of it.
NFL's been pretty quiet recently.
Yeah, I mean, after the draft, after Rodgers finally got traded.
Yeah, Lamar and Jalen Hurts both got paid.
Yeah.
Only other thing I could talk about with NBA as well, Jason Tatum went off in what was it? It was Game 7, wasn't it?
I think so.
Game 7 dropped 51 points. Monster performance in Game 7 to move on. That was crazy. I remember seeing the live score tracker and I was like, wow, this dude's just dominating right now.
Yeah. Yeah, really, there's nothing else in the NBA. I got left. So you want to move on to hockey? The last thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got hockey stuff pulled up. I'm ready to talk about some hockey because interesting to say the least. We're gonna start with conference standings first. We're gonna talk about all the playoff teams and all their records. We'll start with the Western Conference since we're here in the East Coast. We'll switch it up a little bit. So Western Central Division, the Avalanche ended up taking the division at 51-24-7, 109 points. Dallas Stars came in second, 47-21-14 with 108 points. Then the Minnesota Wild, 46-25-11, 103 points. And then the Winnipeg Jets, 46-33-3 with 95 points. Then down to the Pacific, Vegas, the Golden Knights ended up taking the division at 51-22-9 with 111 points. Edmonton Oilers, second place, 50-23-9 with 109 points. So they were actually pretty close in that race for the division. Then the LA Kings, of all teams, went 47-25-10 with 104 points. And the Seattle Kraken, 46-28-8 with 100 points. And then over to the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division, the record-breaking Boston Bruins went 65-12-5 with 135 points. I believe that is franchise record for wins and league record for points in a season.
Yep.
Toronto Maple Leafs second place, 50-21-11 with 111 points. That's a very respectable season. That's just there's no comparing to 65 wins in the season. Tampa Bay Lightning 46-30-6 with 98 points, and the Florida Panthers with 42-32-8 with 92 points. Down to the Metro. Carolina Hurricanes went 52-21-9, 113 points. New Jersey Devils 52-22-8, 112 points. Another very close race right there. 1 point separating those two teams. New York Rangers 47-22-13 with 107 points, and the New York Islanders 42-31-9 with 93 points. The Pens missed out of the playoffs by 2 points, which is horrific. So that's the lineup for the playoff teams in the NHL this year. And the current matchups, we'll start with that. The conference finals are between the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, which is so bizarre. The Devils beat the Rangers in round one, and the Hurricanes beat the Islanders. The Islanders then beat the Devils to get to this point. The Panthers beat the Bruins in 7 games. It's just absolutely crazy. Came back down 3-0 in the series. And the Maple Leafs beat the Lightning before losing to the Panthers to get the Panthers to the conference finals. Then on the Western side, first round, Seattle beats Colorado. Dallas beats – who's that? The Wild? Yeah, that's Minnesota. And then Vegas beats Winnipeg, and Edmonton beats LA. And then Dallas beats Seattle in 7 games, which is a crazy series. And Vegas beats Edmonton. So some pretty interesting matchups. AJ, I know you like hockey a little bit, and you're a fan of Seattle. So
Yeah,
I'll get your opinions on that.
I like Seattle a lot. I just recently got into hockey. I don't keep up 100% with the games, but I'll look at the scores and everything. Seattle blew my mind this season. I did not think a second-year expansion franchise would get this deep into the playoffs. I didn't even think they'd make the playoffs.
First year as a team, didn't they?
I think so. Or they were close. They made it deep into the playoffs.
I want to say they won the cup in their first season as a team.
They might have, but that's very rare for
it's
an
super
expansion
rare, yeah.
franchise. So for 2 back-to-back expansion franchises to go deep into the playoffs, insane. And honestly, I think Seattle's only going up from here. I think they're going to get even better. The core is all young. That's great.
Speaking of Seattle, Penguins management, absolutely terrible. Sent Jared McCann to the Kraken in that draft.
Yeah.
Don't get it. It's fine.
They've made some questionable decisions the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh management.
Hey, speaking, you just reminded me about the NHL lottery.
Oh,
God.
Poor Coyotes, by the way. They missed out on the Sidney Crosby sweepstakes years ago. Then they also missed out on the Connor Bedard because Connor Bedard, as of right now, is projected, obviously, number one. This pains me to say, the Chicago Blackhawks. CM
The
Punk
team
is
that
going to be
we
so annoying.
lost to when we needed to win to make the playoffs.
Whatever. They're going to – Connor Bedard's going to be great, and Blackhawks will probably be great. Whatever. This is whatever. That's all I can say for now is whatever.
I don't know. This is just me. I hate leagues that have draft lotteries.
Really?
I personally do not like them.
Well, wait. Now the MLB just did the draft lottery because the Pirates are the number one pick. So the NFL's the only one that doesn't do the lottery.
Yeah, I honestly prefer that.
Me too.
It doesn't make sense for the worst team not to get the best pick.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense for a team that just missed the playoffs to even have a chance at the first overall pick. That would be in the year Trevor Lawrence was getting drafted. That would be like the Steelers. They were first round exits, so they would still have a chance at the first overall pick. That would be like them getting Trevor Lawrence if they won the first overall pick. To me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, right
like
after
a playoff team or like a brink playoff
team.
Yeah, should never be in odds to get the first overall pick. And maybe that's just me because I'm an NFL guy. Like that's my favorite, and it just makes the most sense. But it makes more sense from like a trade like perspective too, because like before the lottery, it's like, oh, you can have our first round pick, and
yeah, because you can project a pick's value
exactly. And even after like the season's done, until the lottery happens, you don't even know what pick you have. And I don't like that personally, because then it leads to like this, where like the Coyotes were the worst team. Yeah. So they should have the first overall pick and they should have Connor Bedard, but they don't. It's the Blackhawks. Like the Coyotes have the 6th overall pick and they were the worst team. For them to even be out of the top 3 is insane.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I didn't even look at it that way. That's definitely an interesting way of looking at the lottery. Even though for the Pirates, I'm happy with the MLB one for now. For now, because the Pirates.
When it works for your team, it's the greatest thing ever. Because like you're basically a playoff team, and you're getting one of the best players in the draft. Like that's perfect. But like if you're a really bad team and you get cheated out of like a top 3 pick, or like for Connor Bedard, like he should be a Coyote, but lottery says he's going to be a Blackhawk. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I'll agree on that.
Yeah, I agree. But Alex, all I know is since Connor Bedard's going to be a Blackhawk, CM Punk is going to be very annoying about it. And speaking of that guy, I'm not gonna go and to say anything, but boy, oh boy, I have just a strong feeling very soon I'm going to have a lot to say about that guy, but I won't say it right now. But I got nothing else to add on about the sports world. Is there anything really where else we're missing?
I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to bring up. I don't think there is.
Not really. Other than all Boston sports being really good, apparently. But we already kind of knew that.
I mean, the Red Sox are in last place, but they're still...
Well, the Red Sox are the only bad one. Every other one have made the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but even the Red Sox are still above 500.
Yeah, exactly.
God, do you remember back in the good old days when the only bad Pittsburgh sport was the Pirates? Remember when the Steelers and the Penguins are perennial contenders?
Dude, it's just like the Penguins, the core is like aging now.
They're old.
They're getting to a point where they're either gonna have to trade them away or they're gonna have to start bringing in more draft capital. They got to get younger players.
That's what I said.
Everyone's locked up to we have way too many players locked up on long-term deals that we can't separate from right now because the buyout's way too high.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
We locked up Jeff Carter. Jeff Ice Skate and Molasses Carter.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I said the Penguins really got to prepare for when Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are done. They really got to prepare because they're going to be doomed if they don't.
They're all already old, and if Crosby gets another concussion, he's done for even earlier.
Yeah. So
Like even with them right now, like they're all three still playing, and like maybe they're not in their total primes, but they're still good players. They missed the playoffs. Like,
And they were, I remember seeing that. This was the most games in any season since they were both in the league that Crosby and Malkin have played in one season.
yeah, like they need to start preparing. Otherwise, they're going to be bottom of the barrel for the next couple years to come.
This will be the first Penguins rebuild since Crosby got drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Penguins went 40, 31, and 11 this year. I think they easily could have been a 50-win team with the schedule they played.
I agree. Yep. Well, is there anything else you guys got to add on? We are way past overtime.
I was going to say we're probably way past on time.
I got nothing.
I am hosting the show, and Mike, since I'm outside, do you want to do a paper toss today? Give you the rights.
Do I have paper?
I have zero paper around me right now, so I have nothing I can do with it.
You can be reached all the way to my bed.
All right, I'll hit the outro while you're doing that. First week back on Zoom. First week back after our week-long hiatus to get set up from summer break.
I got some editing to do.
A lot of these shows ended up doing really well over winter break, so we're gonna have more guests on. I'm not sure who the guest is for next week, but we're gonna have guests on, pretty much weekly. AJ might make another return at some point. We're also planning on trying to get him in the studio with us for episode 50, which would be very cool.
He's calling a timeout.
So I go on an Alaskan cruise in July.
That's right.
AJ.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance for 2 weeks. I'm gonna hear Alex say something. Go ahead, say something, because you know how the Google, because we're actually on Google Meet. So this
yeah. I got you. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you mean.
This is probably what you're gonna see for 2 weeks. Alex and AJ probably on the porch.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be taking this over for 2 weeks while you're on the cruise. I forgot about that.
I don't know if we can manage, dude.
It's gonna fall apart. It's gonna be anarchy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch the Pirates. All the Pirate games.
Oh no,
we don't.
No.
Yeah, you do. That's an order. That is an order.
Oh, hockey season's gonna be over.
Oh. We're gonna have to watch the bad sport, Alex.
That's it. We're watching soccer,
dude.
I would watching soccer.
I would watch soccer,
dude. I'll say that. I'll say this. So my brother was home this weekend, and we were kicking the soccer ball in my backyard. I have a big backyard. He taught me how to properly kick a soccer ball. Bro, I was launching it. I was surprised. I was like, where is this coming from? Then again, I was like, my leg strength has gotten better.
Yeah.
But, and also randomly, my brother literally grabs the soccer ball. No reason at all. Throws it at my dad's head.
It's not Brian.
It says nothing. It says nothing.
Got hit in the
I was
crossfire.
like, what? He claims he was aiming for his back, like his lower back. I was like, you were nowhere near his lower back.
That's amazing. Like, that's hilarious.
I was like, bro. But
Peak
yeah.
comedy.
But July, you're probably gonna see Alex and AJ hopefully go over the Pirates. Now, what else was I gonna say? Next week, I won't say the guest. I might have a clue of who. It might be AJ again, but that's fine with me. Stay tuned. But yeah, you guys got anything else to say?
No, yeah, I mean, stay tuned. Guests every week. Hopefully, it's going to be fun. Like I said, hopefully for episode 50, we'll be back in the studio for that one. So hopefully we can try and get AJ in the studio with us for that one. Get a microphone on him. Oh my God, Mike! It will be me, you, AJ, and Joe in a studio.
Oh dear Lord!
That just sounds like chaos.
Speaking of which, hopefully a Joe cameo in this show every once in a while for the Zoom ones. That'll be sick.
Yeah. By the way,
if we can get Joe to exist in the Tailgate Talks cinematic universe during the summer, then we'll definitely do it.
Yeah, I got two more things actually. Next week, I will be 20. And if you know me with everything I've been through, it's more of a hallelujah. I'm finally out of my 10s and into my 20s. But yeah, for this episode, I feel like I held my end of the bargain. Like I sometimes I usually feel. Didn't feel that great. Won't go into specifics today, but hopefully this was good enough for the viewer, and we're gonna keep hiring out content. So
it's never good enough for the viewer. It's never good enough. It's very real estate.